The holly and the ivy, now both are full well grown. Of all the trees that are in the wood, the holly bears the crown. Oh, the rising of the sun, and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organs, we sing in the choir. Good morning. It is just gone 11:15. Yes, I am up and dressed. I'm doing a bit better today. I'm a bit foggy. I did too much yesterday. There's a surprise. But 2 days ago for you, no, 2 days ago for me, I've lost track. On Vlogmas episode 5, this will be Vlogmas episode 7, yeah, so on Vlogmas episode 5, I asked for your recommendations of YouTubers you think I might like who are doing Vlogmas. Lots of people also recommended ones who aren't doing Vlogmas, but that's fine. And I have compiled like a crib sheet for myself. So I thought I would share with you the ones that were recommended the most, because there's loads of them. There's got to be at least 50 here that people recommended. And so I've put this together, this sheet, so that next time when I'm like, oh, I don't know what to watch, I can come to the sheet and pick something off the list. So a couple of them I do already watch, and a couple of them I have dipped in and out of throughout my life, and I didn't know whether they were doing Vlogmas or whatever, so I might go back to. So, but the one that by far and away was the most recommended was Atomic Shrimp. Now, I am familiar with Atomic Shrimp, but only because he did this cooking series a long time ago, which was like, well, he's been doing it for several years, which was like surviving on £1 a day and stuff like that. He does all these like really difficult cooking challenges with a low budget, with limited parameters. And having been a very poor person, a very poor student, a very poor master's student living in London in my time, I've looked back and I can see that I've watched quite a few of those videos. But so like I'm familiar with the premise and everything and who he is. And yeah, I hadn't realised he was doing Vlogmas, so I will definitely be checking that out. God, nearly 1 million subscribers. That's cool. Okay, well, I'll definitely be checking in with him, giving him a go. The next one, I think the one with the next most recommendations was Emma Robinson from Woolly Mammoth. Now, some of these I realised I might not have tallied up correctly, because either people like gave me a list where they were like Emma Robinson Woolly Mammoth and I thought they were two separate people, and then I've been like, oh wait, no, that's one person apparently, okay. So I've had to juggle everything around. But that name came up quite a lot and I've never heard of them, so we'll be checking that out. Of course, I've typed in Woolly Mammoth to the search and I'm just getting videos about woolly mammoths. Oh, that looks cool. Why do I recognise her? Anyway, I'll come back to that. Maybe I've just seen the thumbnails recommended on my For You page. We had, with 3 recommendations each, The Copycat Stitch, Passion Knit Kelsey, Finnish Knitting Stories, just vintage crochet, which I have seen quite a lot of, Rachel Bean, is that? B-E-A-R-N, stitched by Mrs. D. And then, now I'm not sure whether this is Seji, S-E-J-I, or Sei Fields, like a Y, or like a Sehi with a H, depending on where this person is from. Sehi Fields, Complicated Knots, and the same again, Minya Walden, possibly Walden, I don't know. Rachel is Knitting, Sandy Brock, Crochet Vision, Passion Knit Kelsey, oh, I've mentioned that one already, I think. Knit and Caboodler, Kit and Caboodler, sorry. Oh, Rachel Bean again. So actually, Rachel Bean got 5 recommendations. Sorry, Rachel, I've shortchanged you. Eliza OK, Creia Beer Knitting Podcast, and possibly Emily Kate Made This, who I do watch. Now, somebody recommended Emily Made This, and somebody recommended Emily Kate Made This, and I don't know if there is also an Emily Made This, or an Emily, or it's just they just meant Emily Kate Made This. I'll have a look at it. Yeah, it looks like they meant Emily Kate Made This. Anyway, I am really excited to look at everything. I mean, because like as well, people recommended all sorts of different crafts, like scrapbooking,
slow stitching, embroidery, sewing, knitting, crochet, all sorts of things. So I've got a massive selection here to work my way through. Some people recommend like doll's house stuff and mudlarking stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to do some YouTubing. I am desperately trying to find the spoons to make these Christmas prints today. So I'm probably going to do what I often do when I'm not really well enough and should be resting, which is think about it and plan it, but not actually do it, so that when I do have the energy and the sort of physical presence to do it, I'm absolutely ready to go. Just got to find all the stuff, get all the stuff out and actually do it, and I know exactly what I want to do, and I've designed everything and I've researched the techniques and all that sort of stuff, so I might spend the morning doing that. I also have gotten to a crucial point in my knitting. Hang on. Oh, several people have asked about the mugs, particularly the bumblebee one they thought was really cute. They're all Emma Bridgewater, so they've all got like the bird. I think we've got the birds, we've got the Vizsla one, naturally. This was a gift from a friend, which is the Snowdrops one, and they all have inside the rim the thing on the front. They're all Emma Bridgewater. They are so expensive. These were Woody's. He bought them. He doesn't drink tea or coffee, and when we started going out, he bought them like for me to use. I didn't realise at the time they're £25 each. It turned out to be a very generous present. And when I found that out, I was like, who is this man who is willing to drop like over £100 on bloody mugs, but is wearing shoes which are tied together with this much shoelace? I don't know. Anyway, it was very nice of him. So if you would also like to waste your money on £25 mugs, Emma Bridgewater. They are very aesthetic for videos though, I will give him that. So, my knitting, am I going to knock the camera over if I do that? I have gotten to the point now where I'm ready to shape for the armholes, but I actually think I might need some more length in this. I need to get out a tape measure and really check. I also want to block my swatch. I don't have any wool wash, so I'm just going to have to use ordinary detergent and hope for the best. Because somebody did say that cotton grows quite a lot when you block it. Basically, what's frustrating me about this vintage pattern is there are no finished measurements apart from for bust circumference, and the gauge is not a standard gauge. So it's not like I can say, oh, it's double knit, I'm getting 5.5 stitches to an inch. It was designed for 5.5 stitches to an inch, therefore it's safe to assume that it would also be 30 rows to 10 centimetres. So 5.5 stitches to an inch would be 22 stitches to 10 centimetres, and so 30 rows to 10 centimetres would be the standard equivalent for double knit. But it's not a standard gauge, so I don't know, doesn't tell you how many rows they're expecting per inch or per 10 centimetres or whatever. And it also doesn't give you any length measurements at all. Not for the sleeves, not for the body, not like, and normally in a vintage pattern it would say knit to be 12 inches, 14 inches from hem, however long it needs to be. But this gives you a number of rows, so it's saying to knit 22 more rows after increasing, after you do your final increase. But it doesn't tell you how long that's supposed to be. So I'm assuming that this ribbing is supposed to fall at the natural waist, right? That is from the fashion drawings, that's what it sort of implies. But also in the fashion drawings, it's really blousy over that cinched waist. And one of the things that I have noticed since my weight has increased and my size has increased is that I need extra length now, and I don't know whether that's to do with expanding outwards. I imagine it's to do with the bust, and need more distance to get over. And of course in knitwear, because the back and the front are alike, unless I do some sort of short row shaping full bust adjustment on the front, I'm also going to have to knit the back to be the same length, so that the seams line up. So yeah, I'm a bit stuck and a bit confused with this one. I've done some maths, and so at a ratio of 22 stitches to 30 22 stitches to 30 rows in 10 centimetres square, which is the double knit weight. The gauge for this, which is 5 stitches per inch, 20 stitches per 10 centimetres, that would be about 27.3 rows if proportionally we're assuming the stitches are the same, if the ratio between height and width remains the same for each stitch. So if we round up, that would be 28 rows per 10 centimetres. I don't know if that's what I'm getting. I need to check my swatch. Am I overthinking this? Probably. Basically, I need to go and find a tape measure. Okay, so I've tied this around my waist. I couldn't find a length of elastic that was narrow enough. I would have preferred a bit of elastic, but this is sort of for me to indicate so I can measure on myself how long I want this back section to be to the top of that ridge section. 17 inches. Okay, and so like from underarm to there, I want about 8 inches. So it is just a touch short, particularly if I want it to be blousing over a little bit. God, I'm fucking freezing. I've got to put my cardigan back on. Ow. So I am getting 28 rows to 10 centimetres. Probably can't hear me, can you? So I am getting 28 rows to 10 centimetres. Now, I did work out how many rows are left. So 68 rows, so about 9 3/4 more inches from this point to the back of the neck. And I measured 17. So, and this measures currently 7 3/4, so 17.5, and my back neck, mind you, that's not including the ribbing. My back neck to the top of my natural waist is exactly 17. So how many more rows do I want to add? Is any of this making sense to you? Basically, it's too short for the effect I think I want, unless it blocks to be bigger, which I need to check, but I can't find the swatch, can I? Do I just leave it as is? Because it's going to be long enough. Is it going to be long enough? Yeah. Leave room for the bosom. Okay, well, I think I've answered my own question. I'm not going to add any more length. Problem solved. Didn't have a washing up bowl, so having to use a mixing bowl. Okay, so it definitely grew quite a bit. I've had to really smush it to get back to 10 centimetres. It was like a good, quite a lot bigger than that. So hopefully, it's on the floor because this house has underfloor heating. I know, bougie. But the length, I can get it to block to the correct gauge, as in 10 centimetres is 20 centimetres and 10 centimetres is 28 rows. So, knowing that it has the potential to grow that much, I don't think I'm going to make any length adjustments. Yeah, okay, I'm going to leave this to dry and crack on with some knitting. I've come over here because I am exporting my video, and after my previous experience, I'm sorry. There we go, that's a bit better. I'm in the shot now. I'm exporting my video that's got to go up today, so that's day 6 of Vlogmas 6, and it's a really mammoth one because it's where I finally make my Advent wreaths, and so I reviewed the footage. Normally I edit in the evening, but there was so much footage when I was trying to import it this morning. I was like, I need to get ahead on this. Otherwise it's not going to be uploaded in time. So I've come over here to talk to you because of course the laptop fan is going, and I've just seen I got this can of Coke out 2 hours ago to drink. Cheers. Still cold. Okay. But I wanted to talk to you because I've started shaping. Having done my gauge swatch, I was like, I'll just start shaping for the back. As it said, I don't think I need any extra length because it's inevitably going to grow this. And joys of vintage patterns, we've got our first typo. So my first qualm with this pattern is they give you no row gauge information or no length measurements, but then tell you how many rows to knit. And also then, after the armhole shaping, the stitches remaining is wrong. So it says, we've got 90, continuing stocking stitch, yeah. Shape armholes by casting off 6 stitches at the beginning of the next 2 rows. So that's 12, 90 minus 12 is... I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Ignore me, ignore me. That's mortifying. Okay, as you were, never mind, never mind. It was at least worth coming over here to find this can of Coke I'd forgotten about. But yes, now I am dividing for an opening at the back neck. And so that's quite common in high-necked vintage patterns. They put an opening in the back or in the shoulder seams so that you can get it on and off. So I'm going to have to divide and work on half of the stitches and then come back and work on the other half. So, we'll see. Second skein, this much left so far. Oh, and somebody pointed out, wait there. Walking is hard today. Did I have a busy day yesterday? Yes, I did. So, you know how I was talking about how my yarn was getting shredded? Somebody in the comments mentioned that they'd had that and it's due to this. So rather than have like a band where it goes all the way around the skein to hold it in place like you do on a sort of oblong one, these round ones, they quite often just have this like jaggedy arrow-shaped bit of paper, and of course what happens is it snags on there. So I don't know whether I did that as I pulled this out or if that happened during the manufacturing process or whatever, but just in case it was something I did, the next ones I'm going to be really careful as I remove this, or I'm going to tear it and pull it out the other way. This is one of the beautiful things about doing Vlogmas. I get feedback on my projects in real time, which is very useful. Because often, as things go because often when things go wrong, as they always do for me, I'm sat there talking to you about it, and then I get in the final video, which sometimes goes up months after I've actually finished the project, people are like, oh, why didn't you do this? And I'm like, well, what? It's too late now. But in this case, it isn't too late. So thank you, thank you. We are on the Tesco own brand Lebkuchen. Trying to work on my pronunciation and sound less like my northern mother when she says it. She's watching these. Sorry for taking the mick out of your accent, Mum. But I've spent the afternoon, firstly, showered, got my PJs on, Friday night, feeling very cosy. Woody was able to fix my little spinner thing. Had lovely moments, just sat here watching it, feeling very proud of myself. Turns out I'd literally like not installed the spinner properly, and that's why it wasn't spinning. Got it here. It's got a little hole that it has to sit in. I don't know if you can see, there's like a little metal bit has to go in there, and then it actually spins. Not at all embarrassed. about that one. Didn't get the crafting done that I wanted to get done today, partly because I spent so long editing that video. But yeah, I think we're gonna have, what are we having for tea? Burgers.
Yeah, bean burgers.
Bean burgers. We're gonna have bean burgers for tea and have a cosy night in. I think Friday night. I might have some friends coming over tomorrow, and I wasn't talking to you.
I know, but we've also got to prepare for the storm.
We've got to prepare for the storm?
Storm, yeah, there's a red storm coming in.
Oh.
Well, yeah.
Surely
It's gonna be windy.
we're not in the storm bit though, are we? In the red zone?
No, we're not, no.
Okay. I was going to say.
Pretty rough still.
Hang my Christmas wreath up, and it's going to have been down more than it's been up with these high winds. Oh well, I'll just have to bring it indoors and enjoy it indoors. So I think I might return to my knitting, or I might actually do the crafting that I wanted to do and design my Christmas cards. Should we do that? Get the iPad out. Oh, don't look at my password. So then this should be, I've made this 8x8, so this should be the right size. Oh, I can't remember what size the prints are. I think they're 5 centimetres. Green bow. Are you seeing my vision? So I think I'd want to do 2 as lino and 2 where you carve in. So these would be really these 2 would need more detail. Or do I want to do these 2 might be better with more detail with the lines of the holly and the pine. Do you see my vision? So that these will be a bit lighter and featherier, and then these will be much blockier. I'm not thrilled with this one. I don't think it's recognisable as a bauble, but I don't know what else I could do. Unless it's a Santa hat, but that's boring. And as well, that wouldn't necessarily work without an outline. You gone on camera shy? He comes over, demands attention. I put the iPad down. Second I switch the camera on to show how cute he's being. Nope.